Good afternoon. And let me extend my happy Mother's Day to all you wonderful mothers out there, whether you are adoptive mothers or biological mothers or stepmothers or grandmothers or women who have been adopted as mothers. Happy Mother's Day. And happy graduation day. I'm so honored to be the faculty speaker today, and I'm going to tell you a little story. So not long ago, I visited Lake Tahoe. It was a trip that had been delayed due to the passing of my own mother, and so I had this ticket that I needed to use or lose. It seemed like the timing really wasn't ideal. But I was in need of a little bit of renewal, having spent the previous 8 months working feverishly with my incredible colleagues in contemplative education on the application and the new courses to launch Naropa's new teacher licensure program in the fall. Yeah. So this trip that I missed for an incredibly sad reason turned into perfect timing. So with my partner on my arm, we went to give our eyes a new view. Exploring the area, I was dismayed at the obvious colonialism that surrounds the history and engaged with a few people about that. But it was, however, the lake itself that captivated me. The lake, 22 miles long, like from here to Golden, 12 miles wide, reflecting the sky. Every time I looked at it, it took my breath away. But the lake is the result of this cataclysmic action 2 to 3 million years ago. So as the earth went through this incredible, vast upheaval, the beautiful Sierra Nevada mountains were born. And on the other side, the Carson Range. So the buckling of the earth left the area between these two amazing mountain ranges as the basin of the lake. Well, as if that wasn't enough, the Ice Age came 1 million years ago and did more sculpting. It sculpted the landscape through glaciers, rain, snow. About 65 different streams filled that pristine natural monument to patience. Today, it's still rain and streams and snow that fill it. But the lake itself reminds me that there's beauty in cataclysm if we can hold our seat and feed the change through positive action. So, for example, last spring, tents went up on the Naropa Green, a movement of protest. Do you remember? Yeah? The Decolonized Commons, it was named. So some thought it would be this cataclysmic situation. Well, certainly there was upheaval. Rain fell for days. Ice formed around some people's hearts. You students who lived in the tents were determined, strong-hearted, passionate. Everything we need for change, right? The movement drew many in. Some willingly, some, not so much. Well, a few weeks after a lot of argumentative dialogue, general assemblies, silence, and soul searching, people took a breath. Take a breath. Whew. Right? So maybe, just maybe, at that point, the confusion of not knowing, the discomfort of self-awareness, the talk about privilege and social justice was starting to feel normal. Eventually, the sun came out, it drove away the rain, melted the ice. A lake was forming to once again baptize us in the dharma of cultural responsiveness and social justice. So according to the author Sonia Nieto, one thing that cultural responsiveness means is asking profoundly multicultural questions. So profoundly multicultural questions. They require that we take into account the conditions for everyone. For example, you could ask, what's the curriculum on the walls in my institution? What does this question call us to ask? It calls on us to consider the environment for everyone who uses the buildings. Who's being represented? Who is not? How are we holding the totality of the community? Whose world is being represented? Now, it may be true that these seem like simple questions, but what I think is profound is that someone thinks to ask them and then expects an answer. Right? The students of the Commons asked profoundly multicultural questions of all of us and of themselves. In this way, the cataclysm happened from the inside out. In this way, they were warriors, fearless. I mean, we are in Europa. This action, this upheaval, changed some things that happened in Europa. Not as much as some want, more than others can keep up with. We've been asked to check ourselves, to open ourselves, to walk our talk. We've had to consider what the word compassion means. Again, it's not like we haven't ever considered that, right? I think we learned that in order to provide what's necessary for each of us to grow and learn to our fullest potential, we have to be awake to the diversity of circumstances of people's lives. We must explore our own assumptions and where they have arisen from. We must consider how our assumptions affect our conceptualization of the world. We must stop believing that our assumptions are the truth. This is hard, made easier with an open heart. And you wonderful graduates, you have the tools. You have the skills to move forward with an open heart, to approach this work of creating and asking profound and profoundly multicultural questions. These tools have been offered to you in classrooms throughout the university, through workshops from the Office of Inclusion and Diversity. Thank you, Regina. We know that the skills deepen when we do whatever contemplative practice we have that calls us to examine our inner landscape. We certainly don't have the longevity of a Lake Tahoe. Our lives, by comparison, are a mere nanosecond. So it's no wonder we feel impatient for change. But you, my dear graduates, have been practicing for years now. Some of you 2, some of you 3, some of you 4, some of you 40, right? You've been practicing how to take multicultural questions out into the world and meet what will no doubt be the crazy-eyed reception of them. And stand there with a presence that says, yes, that's what I ask of you. Then calmly, or maybe not so much, help to create the change. Never doubt that the world needs you. Your optimism, your good thinking, your compassion. Never doubt that the world needs you. I wish you all good things in your change making. So, did you transform yourself? Yeah? They're waiting for you to come out and transform the world. Thank you.